let's take a look at our top selections for Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the feature race at Oaklawn Park on Saturday. Race number 10. Let's throw up the field for the $150,000 Nodouble Breeders Stakes. Some of the best Arkansas bred on the grounds at Oaklawn, and it's a pretty big and bulky field, Mike. The 4 Tempt Fate got a big fig last time out. 5-2 on the morning line for Joe Talamo.
Yeah, he's going to try to back up a pretty big performance last time. This is a very interesting race, and these horses are very familiar with each other. They've faced each other a lot. I'm not so sure that anybody's really distinguished themselves yet. It feels like they take turns beating each other.
Let's throw up the Timeform U.S. pace projector for this year's edition of the Nodouble. The 2 Captain Don is a very fast horse. Tempt Fate was up on the pace in his most recent effort, and that's one of his best attributes. He has tactical speed, as does the 5 Bebop Shoes, a horse that often settles for second or thirds, but did get a victory last time out. I don't argue at all with this pace projector. I think the 2, 4, and 5 will be up close.
Yeah, I agree. I don't argue with it at all either. I do believe that Captain Don will try to make the lead again. He tried to make it last time, Dan. He couldn't get there and wound up contesting the pace from the outside before he finally fought his way to the lead, but he's drawn to post 2 here. I think he will make the front.
The number 1, KJ's Nobility, won this race last year in his 3rd race back off of a summer layoff, and he's going to try to duplicate that pattern once again. Last time out, he was the beaten favorite in a state-bred optional claimer, beaten by Tempt Fate. But I wonder if closers were a bit compromised, Mike. I know the pace looks very fast. There just wasn't a lot of closing going on.
Yeah, and I don't know that this horse necessarily got the best trip in that race either, Dan. I mean, I don't want to, feel like he had some kind of huge excuse in there, but he really didn't get, I don't think, the position that Kelvin Burrow wanted him to get early on, sort of trying to get up close between horses. He had to back out of that spot and he lost some position there. I just felt like maybe that trip wasn't great for him. And then, the race off the layoff 2 back, I think he ran a lot better than it looks that day too. That was a good field. He was down on a dead rail for a lot of that race. This horse, I think, is coming into this spot with 2 legitimate excuses.
And that race 2 starts back earned him an 89 Beyer speed figure, which in my opinion would be more than good enough to put him into the winner's circle. The 2 is Captain Don, and Captain Don ran just fine last time out. It was his 2nd start off of a layoff. He showed good speed to push the pace that day, and they were both going pretty quick, and he was still punching on at the end when behind Bebop Shoes. Now, he's still eligible for a non-winners of 2 life. He needs a Beyer boost, but he's lightly raced enough that we can project a bit of improvement.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a dangerous horse in here. I want to use him, especially if he gets overlooked a little bit in the wagering. That race off the left, he didn't run well. He did have a little trouble in that race. I don't know if it was enough to excuse the 12th place finish, beating over 30 lengths, but he didn't have a great trip in there. And then last time, again, post 12, he's trying to make the lead from out there. He just couldn't clear it. You got to do a lot of hard work in there. I think he ran better than it looks.
Glacken's Ghost has hit the board in this race in 2020 and in 2018, and he's coming into this heat in good form. Let's watch his seasonal debut for Mac Robertson. Now, this was a 2-turn mile race over sloppy going, but he made a solid move to the front and upper stretch, Mike. He goes about his business. This 8-year-old fires more often than not, especially on dirt where he is 6 for 26 lifetime. I think Glacken's Ghost might be a little bit of an upsetter, especially if this pace is hot, because he's proven that he can sprint.
Yeah, at a big price, I wouldn't argue with him, but I would demand a big price on him, Dan. I don't mind him cutting back into a race with some pace, and he should have some pace in here. But man, he's facing some real tough sprinters in this race, and he might be a little bit better at this stage of the game going longer.
Tempt Fate has come back to Oaklawn Park this meet with a vengeance, 2 victories, 2 fairly easy ones, including this rate where he beat 4 of these common foes on March the 12th. Now, he battled with 2 long shots while in between horses on the turn, and he just keeps on going. But as you see, Mike, there really isn't a lot of closing going on. So usually when you think of a horse battling in between horses, he keeps on going, you'd think that was a strenuous trip. But considering that the pace foes were such big prices, I wonder how hard of a trip this was.
Yeah, I sort of looked at it the same way, and I don't want to, deny that he ran really well in there, Dan, because he did, and it came back a pretty fast race. I also thought he ran well 2 starts back when he won. Again, I don't think that was the greatest field in the world, but he was right up there contesting the pace between horses again, put those horses away and kick clear. It just feels like he's in really good form right now.
Bebop Shoes, I think, was a very shrewd claim by these connections. They took him for $20,000, and apparently they've been pointing for this race all along. They've run him in 2 Arkansas bred races at Oaklawn this meet, and it paid dividends last time out as the favorite. Let's watch Bebop Shoes run down Captain Don. Bebop Shoes, I think, took advantage of a pretty fast pace in here. I think this is a slightly tougher group overall.
I agree with that. I thought he ran well in this race, though. He did work out a good trip in here, Dan, but he just kept coming forward throughout the race. Even though the pace was fast, this horse just kept improving his position. I thought he ran well in this race, and he had a little trouble. He's another horse. He had a little trouble behind Tempt Fate 2 starts back. He probably was second best that day.
Reef's Destiny goes route to sprint. He's tried that move once in his career, and it resulted in a 33-1 win during the 2020 meet. This is a one-run closer that needs a lot of pace.
He might catch some pace in this race, though, Dan. I didn't want to totally dismiss him. I still think he has to run the best race of his life to beat this field, but he might get a setup in here.
I wonder if J.E.'s hand-me-down is slowly rounding himself back into form. He was third behind Tempe, one of those big long shots that was pushing the pace last time out, and he was still hanging on a little bit at the end. Now, the blinkers come off. He has back class. He won this race in 2018. I was really surprised at the improved tactical speed last time out.
Yeah, he ran well last time. I don't know where that race came from necessarily, but he really did run well at a big price off of that layoff. So we'll see if he can back that race up. He does have some back races that would give him a real chance in here. I mean, there are a lot of losses. I mean, he's lost to a lot of these horses, several times over, but boy, he's made it close with them more than once. So it's not like he's in totally over his head here.
Man in the Can did some nice things in 2020 at Oaklawn, sweeping the Rainbow and Arkansas Breeders Championship, one of the better Arkansas bred 3-year-olds on the grounds, and even propelled him to the Bluegrass, where he was only 14-1 against Art Collector. Well, the Bluegrass didn't work out. I wonder if he's slowly rounding himself back into shape. His 4th start off the layoff. We know he has back races good enough to win.
Yeah, I feel like that might be the right way to look at him too, Dan. We'll see what kind of price he is. He's another one where I don't think I'd be that comfortable taking too short a price on him just because he hasn't really gotten back to his really good races yet. And I didn't love his effort last time. I mean, he ran fine, but I didn't love his effort last time when he was behind 3 of these horses.
We saw Bandit Point picking up some horses last time out behind Tempt Fate. He was one of the few horses making up ground. He was down on the inside, was able to save ground. He's been a consistent campaigner at Oaklawn for a long time. He's hit the board in this race the last 2 years. I'd like to see a little bit more stretch pop, however. He might get enough pace to kick at.
Agreed. I thought he ran fine last time, but in a lot of ways, I thought he took advantage there. Just, sat on the rail the entire way and picked up some pieces late.
Top pick for the Nodouble Breeders Stakes. Important race for Tempt Fate, who's a horse that showed some potential as a 3-year-old. Again, I love his tactical speed. I think if he sits a trip off of Captain Don and doesn't get too speed crazy early, he's going to get the jump on these horses turning for home. I see what you're saying about KJ's nobility, and I might have underestimated him because that fig from 2 starts back really puts him in good stead, and maybe he was compromised last time. Nice price at 7-2. He was 7-5 last time.
Yeah, if you can get that price, I think it's more than fair on him. His last 2 races, I think, are probably both better than they look. And if he runs, it's one of his top races in there, he's supposed to be tough.
1, 2, 4, 5 for Mike, 4, 7, 8, and 9 for me. The Nodouble, the feature race at Oaklawn on Saturday. Approximate post time for race 10, 5:52 Central. Good luck.